expand the eligibility criteria and increase uptake, making it a lot easier for businesses to access finance during this period. I am therefore confident that we will be seeing more companies making use of this facility going forward now that the rules have been adjusted. Over 70 billion rand in tax relief has also been provided to companies. I mention all these figures because they clearly illustrate that the various parts of the social and economic relief package are being implemented and that the much needed support is reaching its recipients. This is making a real difference in the lives of millions of people in our country, and it is providing vital support to thousands of companies in these very, very difficult times that we are going through. But what concerns me and what concerns all South Africans are those instances where funds are stolen, where they are misused, where goods that we have to procure are overpriced, where food parcels are diverted from needy households, where there is corruption and mismanagement of public funds. Increasingly, we're hearing allegations about the fraudulent UIF claims, overpricing of goods and services, violation of emergency procurement regulations, collusion between officials and service providers, abuse of food parcel distribution, and the creation of fake non-profit organizations to access relief funding. From the outset of our response to the pandemic, we have been quite clear that there should be no scope for corruption in the use of these public resources. More so than at any other time, corruption puts lives at risk, particularly at this time and in any other time, of course. We therefore put in place several preventative measures. National Treasury issued regulations to ensure that emergency procurement of supplies and services meet the constitutional requirements of fairness, transparency, competitiveness, and cost effectiveness. Regulations were put in place to prohibit unjustified price hikes and ensure availability of essential goods. Since the declaration of the national state of disaster, the Competition Commission has investigated well over 800 companies on excessive pricing. It has so far prosecuted or reached settlements with 28 companies, imposing penalties and fines of over 16 million rand. The Auditor General has also adopted special measures to safeguard funds committed to the fight against COVID-19. Special audits have been undertaken to detect and prevent misuse of these funds and to identify risks in the system. In addition to all these other measures, we have established in government a collaborative and coordinating center to strengthen the collective efforts among law enforcement agencies so as to prevent, detect, investigate, and prosecute COVID-related corruption. This center brings together 9 state institutions, and these are the Financial Intelligence Center, the FIC, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, the Hawks, Criminal Intelligence, and the South African Police Service Detective Service, the South African Revenue Service, SARS, and the Special Investigating Unit, the SIU, and the State Security Agency, SSA. With an operational hub at the FIC, this center is currently involved in investigating allegations of corruption in areas such as the distribution of food parcels, social relief grants, the procurement of personal protective equipment and other medical supplies, as well as UIF special COVID scheme. At least 36 cases are currently at various stages of investigation and prosecution. We are determined that every instance of alleged corruption must be thoroughly investigated, that those who are responsible for wrongdoing should be prosecuted, and that all money stolen or overpriced should be recovered. In order to speed up and strengthen the process of dealing with corruption, I have today signed a proclamation authorizing the Special Investigating Unit, the SIU, to immediately investigate any unlawful or improper conduct in the procurement of any goods, any works, and services during or related to the national state of disaster in any state institution. This empowers the SIU to probe any allegation relating to the misuse of COVID-19 funds across all spheres of the state. If the SIU finds evidence of a criminal offense that has been committed, it is obliged and will be obliged to refer such evidence to the prosecuting authority. It is also empowered to institute civil proceedings for the recovery of any damages or losses incurred by the state. Now, to ensure that action is taken speedily, I will be getting interim reports on investigations every 6 weeks. The fight against the coronavirus pandemic is stretching our capabilities and resources to their limit. We are therefore determined that there should be no theft, no wastage, and no mismanagement of public funds. The consequences for those who break the law or bypass regulations will be very, very severe. The people of South Africa require nothing less than full accountability from those who've been elected and appointed to serve them. We commend those provincial governments and municipalities that have already started taking disciplinary action against officials accused of improper conduct and, where appropriate, have reported them to the law enforcement agencies. We are very pleased that this initiative is now underway. All the funds that we have committed must reach their intended recipients and must be put to their proper use. We will take steps to recover all funds that have been stolen or where goods have been overpriced. And it does not matter who has done so. The success of our fight against corruption depends on the involvement of all citizens and all parts of our society. In doing all this, we will also be working with various leaders in society and various social formations to strengthen our efforts to safeguard the precious resources that we need to overcome the disease and to protect our people from its damaging effects. As all South Africans work together to limit transmission and prepare for the peak of infections throughout the country, we are also looking towards the extraordinary measures that will be needed to rebuild our economy. We cannot wait until COVID-19 threat has passed, because the virus will continue to be part of our lives for some time to come. We need to work now on a social compact for economic recovery, growth, and transformation. As government, we are engaging with all social partners on a common economic recovery program that uses every means at our disposal to unlock growth and to create employment and to protect the jobs that we now have. We see a great deal of alignment across the various plans and proposals that have been put forward by various groups in society, and we are building a consensus on the practical measures that we will need to take now and in the coming months. And I will be addressing this matter in the weeks to come. Through working together, we have achieved much as a country in the last few months. We delayed the spread of the virus, saving many lives and giving ourselves time to improve our health response. We put in place the largest social and economic relief package in our history under severe constraints and have mitigated the worst impact of the pandemic. Across society, people have changed their behavior, observing social distancing, wearing masks, and observing hygienic practices. As a country, we have never before faced such a severe crisis or such an abrupt disruption to our lives. Under the most challenging conditions, our response as a nation has actually been quite remarkable. Even as we may have made some mistakes, we have shown an extraordinary capacity for innovation, for solidarity, and for collective action. We have mobilized the whole of society effort to combat this threat, and we have continued to adapt and improve our response. The next few weeks will put our resources and resolve to the test as never before. And I call on all South Africans to remain strong, to remain disciplined and focused, and above all, we should stay safe. I'm still convinced that we will overcome this pandemic. We will protect lives and livelihoods, and we will restore our people and our country to health. This week, we mourn the departure of Ubaba Andrew Umlangeni Isithwalandwe, one of the last Rivonia trialists who contributed immensely to achieving the freedom that we have achieved. We pass our condolences to his family and to his friends, and indeed to the whole nation. We have declared that his funeral will be a Category 1 funeral, and the flags of our country will fly at half-mast, respecting this giant that has just fallen. And we say to Baba Mlangeni, go in peace. May God bless South Africa, and I thank you all.
Right, let's talk more about this then. Bring in researcher and policy analyst Sarah Black, joining us by Skype this afternoon. Sarah, a very good afternoon to you. So we're just under 4 hours from that address by President Cyril Ramaphosa tonight. How much attention do you want him to pay to the schools question?
Good afternoon to you and to your listeners. I think that it's a problem that is affecting almost every household around the country right now, and so it is a pressing